screens on campus. We take a look at how schools are responding to Governor Doug Ducey ending mask mandates for K-12.
Plus, lights, camera, action. How the FilmBar in Phoenix is surviving the pandemic and filling seats with the support of the community.
And on Break It Down, the absence of people of color in Hollywood, both on-screen and off-screen.
Cronkite News starts now.
Good evening and welcome to Cronkite News on Arizona PBS. I'm Karina Espinosa.
And I'm Jackson Zuber. Thank you for joining us. Up first, breaking news. A verdict has been reached in the trial of former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin, charged in the death of George Floyd.
We, the jury, in the above entitled matter as to count 1, unintentional second-degree murder while committing a felony, find the defendant guilty. Verdict count 2. We, the jury, in the above entitled matter as to count 2, third-degree murder, perpetrating an eminently dangerous act, find the defendant guilty. Verdict count 3. We, the jury, in the above entitled matter as to count 3, second-degree manslaughter, culpable negligence, creating an unreasonable risk, find the defendant guilty.
Found Derek Chauvin guilty on all 3 counts, including third-degree murder and second-degree manslaughter in the death of George Floyd. Following the verdict, Chauvin was remanded into court custody, awaiting sentencing. Over the course of the trial, the prosecution argued the former Minneapolis police officer used excessive force by kneeling on Floyd's neck for over 9 minutes, leading to his death. But the defense called the use of force appropriate and argued Floyd died due to drug use and underlying health issues. The video of the event sparked national outrage and led to protests across the country last summer, including here in Arizona. Right now, cities like Chicago, Los Angeles, and Washington, D.C. are bracing for more protests in reaction to today's verdict. Sentencing is set for 8 weeks from now. Communities here in Arizona are also reacting to the verdict. Arizona Horizon talked with Dr. Deborah Colbert with the Black Mothers Forum. She says she hopes more people will be involved to effect change.
Change happens at the local level, and a lot of the community involvement in terms of being able to have a civilian review board that actually works. I want to see them challenge our police unions and federations to do a better job of recognizing the fact that the power that they have and to actually have a law outside the law that protects police has to end and stop.
We will have more on this story at cronkitenews.azpbs.org.
Our other big story tonight, in executive order, Governor Doug Ducey rescinded his past requirement that all school districts have a face covering policy. Cronkite News reporter Reed Harmon tells us what schools are reacting to this.
Governor Ducey issued that order late yesterday. Now, it's up to the state school districts to decide whether students should wear masks or not. Governor Doug Ducey has left it in the hands of the school districts.
According to our mitigation plan, which is adopted board policy, face masks are to be worn at all times, and it will stay that way unless our governing board rescinds that policy.
This continues the theme from some Arizona school districts. Notices were sent out to families and staff, either maintain their mask mandates or continue with face coverings recommended but not required.
Our first priority yesterday was to communicate first with staff and secondly with parents, and we did that as quickly as we could.
According to the Arizona Department of Health Services, 38% of Arizona residents have received at least 1 dose of the vaccine. Around 27% of Arizonans are fully vaccinated. However, a big portion of school-aged children are not vaccinated.
That means preschool, kinder, first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, and 10th graders are still not vaccinated and are still in schools. And even though teachers are vaccinating for the most part, our students are not.
The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention still requires face coverings for people 2 years old and up. But with just over a month left of school, how does Ducey's decision impact the students?
I think this sends a mixed message to our students who have worked just as hard as we have to stay safe during this pandemic. It's saying that with 26 days left in the school year, that the pandemic, we don't need to wear masks anymore. It's not as important.
Arizona Superintendent of Public Instruction Kathy Hoffman called the governor's removal of the mask mandate embarrassing in a statement she posted last night. Schools will continue to decide on masks district by district as the school year comes to a close. In the broadcast center, Reed Harmon, Cronkite News.
Hoffman also announced additional funding for mental health resources in public schools. Hoffman said $21 million from federal pandemic aid will provide salaries for more than 140 school counselors and social workers for the next 2 years. The schools that spread around are 10 counties that have waited for a year to receive funding for mental health resources.
We did want to make sure that we're addressing the most urgent needs of the pandemic, which mental health is a top priority. I want to emphasize that this was a recommendation from our School Safety Task Force as well as our Student Advisory Council, that time and time again I hear from our students that they need, not just want, but need more school counselors and social workers and mental health professionals on school campuses to support their needs.
Other than the emotional well-being of students, the Arizona Department of Education wants to re-engage learners that disconnected from schools over the past year. Hoffman is calling on lawmakers to provide ongoing access to health care for support of the schools. Right now, a Phoenix organization is working to get some of the city's most vulnerable vaccinated for COVID-19. Mackenzie Allen Charmley has more on a multi-organizational effort targeting hundreds who live on the streets.
The group Circle the City teamed up with Maricopa County officials for a week-long vaccination event intended to give people experiencing homelessness an equal opportunity to get vaccinated. Vaccinating the homeless is vital in achieving herd immunity. That's why Maricopa County teamed up with Circle the City and the Human Services Campus, two groups that serve the area's homeless population. This month, they held a week-long event in Central Phoenix to get more shots in more arms.
Sometimes, or many times in the business that we are in, we need to meet people where they are. We need to go where they live, where they stay, where they sleep. And so this is a perfect place to reach out to as many people as we can.
It's something community members in the area are thankful for.
I'm totally grateful because I didn't think I was going to be able to get it because I had no computer and I don't have a smartphone and everything was signed up. Well, I came down here and I got my shot.
Circle the City provides comprehensive health care for men, women, and children experiencing homelessness, including cancer treatment. Just last year, the organization served over 7,500 people. So making vaccinations available in a convenient place was a key goal.
It is important for people, individuals that are experiencing homelessness, because in many cases they're not connected to clinics that are available to a lot of the population, and so they a lot of times don't know where to go to receive just basic care, and maybe wouldn't even know that the vaccine would be available to them. And so a part of what we're doing here is giving them a vaccine, but also helping them get connected with a clinic for continuity of care.
65-year-old Maurice Freeman, who has been experiencing homelessness since October, sees the event as a way of helping the community and making a difference.
Healthcare is wonderful here. You take advantage of what people have to offer you and go from there, you know. So if everybody gets vaccinated, we can save lives, I think.
According to community liaison Marty Hames, the event saw immense success, and Circle the City will continue to offer free vaccinations to individuals experiencing homelessness through outpatient and mobile clinics. In the broadcast center, Mackenzie Allen Charmley, Cronkite News.
The COVID-19 pandemic has been hard on small businesses, but Cronkite News reporter Tyler Mannion went inside a local Staple to find out about a different type of struggle the coronavirus has caused.
FilmBar is a unique combination of exactly what you'd expect, a place to view films and a bar. But when I went to get the story of yet another business that struggled through COVID, what I found here was different and deeper than what I've heard before. The reels started rolling at FilmBar in downtown Phoenix 10 years ago. Since, it's been called a cultural epicenter for the city. Owner Kelly Aubie created a place that reminds people of home.
It's a little bit like going to see a film in a really interesting living room with, 75 of your best friends.
But COVID-related health precautions made that impossible. And FilmBar was like the 62% of businesses that saw a loss of revenue nationwide.
Our numbers are down 90% or greater.
Aubie considered turning out the lights for good. A decision had to be made. And while the comfortable business plan was this indoor seating arrangement, now all of these seats would be empty. So we had to adapt, and did so by changing locations. The solution was to make an outdoor theater with, yes, a huge screen and slightly different chairs. But the emotional toll the pandemic took was strong.
I've always kind of thought of myself as somebody who was pretty good at managing his feelings about stuff and kind of a strong guy and can move forward. But there have been long periods of time where I'm not sure I have anything left.
This constant struggle is the less discussed side of COVID-19's impact on small business. In many ways, it was the straw that almost broke this entrepreneur's back.
I just didn't see a way forward. And it didn't, at the moment, feel as sad as you might think. I was so tired and beat up at that point that it kind of felt like a relief that I could admit to myself that it was time to move on from this.
But then came a surge of support on social media, with hundreds of people commenting, sharing, and most importantly, donating. Albie had no choice. And going from stale popcorn on the floor of an abandoned theater to this would help start to swing those emotions. So would success at the new location.
To see a full house again, with people that are ready to see this production. And I addressed the crowd when I walked up. I mean, it almost brought a tear to my eye because it was like, there they are, you know? Not there they are because, hey, maybe my business is gonna make it, but there they are because they're getting out.
Now, it's back to the mission of bringing people together through film. Selling a few drinks and showing films again are the important first steps. Because while movies unite a community,
Enjoy the show.
so do small businesses. FilmBar has applied for the SVG grant, which would award them 45% of gross revenue from 2019 and save the business. If they don't get it, though, Albie will be faced with yet another tough decision. In the studio, Tyler Mannion, Cronkite News.
Taking a look outside now from our downtown Phoenix studios. What a shock, another sunny day in the 90s. Julia Sandor is joining us now with what we can expect for the rest of the week. Julia?
Happy Tuesday, everyone. It is a beautiful day here in Arizona. As you can see, looking into the western region, it's beautiful all around as well. We have some high and low 60s in LA and San Diego. And moving on to our low temperatures here in the state, you can see Arizona, we have Phoenix with 61 degrees, moving up north, the Grand Canyon at 28, so it's going to be a little cooler, but we should be thankful for those cool temperatures while we have them. And those winds and clouds are going to skip right over the valley as well. You can see going straight through Cave Creek. They're going to skip right through Arizona, Phoenix right there. And taking a look at our evening planner for tonight, you can see 90 and it's sunny and then clear skies for the rest of the night. So if you want to enjoy your Taco Tuesday, you definitely have the perfect night to do so. And looking at the rest of the week, tomorrow is going to be windy, so make sure you watch out for those dust storms. But the rest of the week is looking sunny, and looking ahead, you can see Monday going to have some clouds, but nothing too bad. In the Weather Center, Julia Sandor, Cronkite News.
I'm Serena Raboyne. After the break, I'll have your Cronkite Sports Report. Plus, we take a look at how one AZ fan favorite is reducing the stigma around using cannabis as medicine. Don't go away.
Cronkite News provides students at ASU's Walter Cronkite School of Journalism with the opportunity to gain real-world experience in the newsroom. At Cronkite News, our students produce professional content for audiences by taking on all roles, whether they be reporting, anchoring, producing, or studio production. Each department gives students first-hand professional newsroom experience. For more information, visit cronkitenews.azpbs.org.
Here we go, lights up. Whoa.
As artists, we conduct our educations in public. You can never know whether it's going to be a success. One just has to risk it.
It's you and the work and the place. It's a very particular relationship.
Here's our lens. Tell us what you think.
Friday night at 9 on Arizona PBS.
Welcome back. I'm Serena Boyne with your Cronkite Sports Report. Let's start with the Phoenix Suns because they're as hot as their name. They won their 41st game of the season last night, guaranteeing at least a play-in spot in the playoffs. And point guard Chris Paul is a major factor for their success. Paul added another accolade to his name, passing Magic Johnson on the NBA all-time assist leaderboard. He now sits at number 5, just under fellow Suns legends Jason Kidd and Steve Nash. After the victory, Suns guard Devin Booker joked that the game ball would be up for auction for $1 million on eBay. For now, Paul hopes to get Magic's autograph to serve as a memento.
Yeah, that's magic. That's magic. You know what I mean? It'll never be another Magic. Showtime. You know what I mean? As a kid, you're trying to do these no-look passes. You know, Magic got there with the 2 big knee braces on. You know, just, I don't know, man. It's surreal.
As legislation in Arizona has allowed more opportunities for people to access alternative treatment options, Cronkite News reporter Zach Moore got a chance to hear why athletes support this movement.
Cannabis, CBD, and other herbal medicines are becoming widely more accepted thanks to the efforts of athletes who have fought the stigma behind these treatment options. Athletes insist these alternative medicines are extremely effective.
Cannabis, just in a personal stance, it's the pain management is what I deal with.
It can help you sleep, reduce anxiety, inflammation, arthritis. I mean, here we are talking about football players with inflammation and onset of arthritis, with sleep issues, with anxiety, PTSD, and all this crazy stuff. And here's this natural plant that can help with all that.
CBD has paid dividends for both active and former players alike. Last year, the NFL announced a new collective bargaining agreement that got rid of suspensions for marijuana violations.
But I think that pendulum is swinging. More people are looking into plant medicine as a remedy, and it's very encouraging what the NFL did.
Arizona enacted legislation to allow recreational marijuana use, a change that reflects a trend amongst all patients.
A lot of people are seeking, alternative care, not just pharmaceuticals. So I think more patients are becoming aware, older people are becoming aware, they're accepting this.
Again, I'm not trying to say that any other medicine shouldn't be used. What I'm arguing is that my medicine should be allowed and should be an option and put me at a level playing field like any other athlete.
As the landscape continues to evolve, it seems that the sports world and overall legislation continues to trend toward providing opportunities for patients to receive alternative treatment options. In Chandler, Zach Moore, Cronkite News.
That does it for today's Cronkite Sports Report. Back to you, Karina and Jackson.
Thanks, Sarandon, and that's it for Cronkite News tonight. Thanks for tuning in.
For top Arizona stories anytime, go to cronkitenews.azpbs.org.